Well, hello, Zen. Where are you?
I'm at Fyla Golf. All right, this is remote Fyla Golf. We got our facility at the back. I'm actually there, man.
Great. So guys, what we're doing today is a little bit different because we're all stuck at home. So we wanted to take this opportunity to kind of learn a little bit more about golf. There's so many things to learn about golf, right? You're down to the basics of learning golf. Then you got to learn about the rules, the handicaps, the etiquette. How
How to run a golf course, how to run a golf academy, how does a golf instructor feel, how does a golf club manager feel, what are different equipments are there that you can use. There's so many things to learn.
So we're gonna do small little snippets of stuff like this. My name is David. I'm the founder of Deemples. It's an app that golfers use to find other golfers to play with. So if you wanna look that up, you can look it up at deemples.com. But today we have a special guest all the way from Tianjin, China. His name is Zen Dharmaratne. Zen, why don't you tell us a little bit more about you?
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about you. Maybe I think one thing that a lot of people will be asking, like, what kind of last name is that? Where are you from? What are you doing in China? How do you get into golf? And how was your golfing career like?
That's a lot of questions, but I'll take it one by one. All right. Firstly, Zen Dharmaratne. Yeah, I get that a lot. Dharmaratne is a Sri Lankan name. My father is Sri Lankan, so I'm half Sri Lankan and I'm half Malaysian. I actually started golf in Sri Lanka because I grew up in Sri Lanka. Playing golf there, there's only one golf course, but I started playing junior tournaments, started winning, then started moving up the ranks, and I came to Malaysia, started playing events here, moved up the ranks as well. Then I thought, you know what, let's turn pro. This was about 7 years ago. Then I started getting involved in business and golf academies, and I had an opportunity in China to go there to get involved with the project called Fyla Golf. I grabbed the opportunity, and here we are.
I think a lot of people will have a lot of questions on professional golf. Right? How is that defined? What do you do as a professional golfer? Because first of all, there's already very, very few golfers around. So in Malaysia, only 1% of the population are golfers. And within that population of golfers, only maybe 1 or 2%, I'm guessing just 1% are professional golfers. So why don't you tell us a little bit more about
maybe even less. Okay, by definition, professional golfers are golfers that make a living through golf. They would play tournaments, get prize money, and that's how they get their money. So there's two types. Then you have another type of professional golfer, which is a teaching professional. In Malaysia, there are more teaching professionals than playing professionals.
So when you were a professional golfer, what was a day in a life like? How is training like? Competition schedules? How is that like?
There used to be, up until the end of last year, there was a PGM tour for about 5 years. They had maybe 30 tournaments a year. So golfers, if you're a professional golfer, you're quite busy. You're traveling every week. The weeks that you don't travel, you're training, or you take a week off. So you're quite busy, but it's a full-time job. Just as you would go to office at 8 a.m. and come back at 5.
So I'm guessing, like, being a professional and playing on the tour, you're not guaranteed to make money, right? But if you do, what would be a possibility of income? You can give us an idea.
Okay, it depends on the tour that you play. If you play the Malaysian tour, it's not much money to be made at all, unless you win every event, or then you can get enough money to live and to fund your training and so on. But what you want to do is you want to go on to the Asian tour. Then from the Asian tour, European tour, PGA tour. That's where the money is. It's not easy to get. So a lot of time, if you end up on the Malaysian tour and you're just playing that as your full-time tour, it's not really much money there at all.
Can you give an idea of what the money would be?
These are the purses that used to exist before. Okay, on the Malaysian tour, if you won, you would get 25 to 30,000 ringgit, right? And then the second prize would get half of that. So then the third prize would get about 10,000, and then it would sharply drop. And when you're towards the bottom, you're just barely covering your expenses.
Well, how do you get up from there to the Asian tour? How does that work?
Okay, the PGM tour is half the events used to be co-sanctioned with the ADT tour. The ADT tour is the feeder tour for the Asian tours. Based on the rankings over the year, if you're in the top, it was top 3 or top a card to the Asian tour. But that might have changed. This was a few years ago. The second way of getting on the Asian tour is you have to go to what is called a qualifying school. The qualifying school is held once a year for the Asian Tour. It's basically a tournament. I think the last time they had it, there was almost 2,000 people taking part. And then the final 25 playing privileges on the Asian Tour.
And what is the money like in the Asian Tour?
It varies wildly. You know, you got tournaments which have a total purse of 300,000, tournaments which are co-sanctioned with the European Tour and the Japanese Tour. Those can go up to about 5-6 million, and these are all in US dollars.
But next up, I think let's talk a little bit about, what you're doing in China. You got there 2 years ago. Like, how did you get there?
Yes.
Why are you there? What is the type of things that Fyla Golf is doing there, and why Fyla Golf, right? And why Tianjin?
No problem. Okay, so I'll start with how I got there. One of my best friends was based in China for a while, and he had an opportunity to start up this academy. So he called me in, and then I was like, yeah, I straight away decided, let's see what we can do in China. It's a new challenge. We started off as an academy. Then afterwards, we expanded into an indoor training facility, and we've been working on a lot of partnerships with schools. So we work with 3 international schools. We work with corporate officers to do golf lessons with their staff, and we do winter camps and some merchandise as well. Yeah.
I think I've asked this before, right? I mean, there's so many cities to be in China, and why choose Tianjin and not the larger cities?
Okay, Tianjin for us was easier to sort of break into, so to speak, because places like Shanghai and Beijing, you've got crazy costs and expenses. Your rental is super high. It's about 10 times higher than Tianjin. And then, yes, it's very competitive. They've got a lot of academies. It was much easier for us to break into Tianjin, test out and see how it works there. And if we do well, then we can move on to a bigger city. Lower tier city compared to Beijing, but there is a population of 15 million in Tianjin, which is half of Malaysia.
The facility there looks really, really good. It looks like it's outdoor, but I don't think it is. Can you give us a quick tour?
It's not. Okay, I'm going to give you a tour. All right, so what you have 2 putting greens. We have 9 simulators in total. They're Korean simulators, which we use for teaching as well. They come with the cameras, front, back, rear, on top. And that is actually not sky. It's not real sky. It's a lighting system, but it's designed to look like the sky. And the whole thing is climate controlled. We can play during winter. We can play in summer if it gets too hot, or if it's raining, snowing, whatever, no problem.
And we also have a gym, which is on this side, but you can't see it now. And I can't really go there either. But there's a gym, and we have a cafeteria as well.
How many students do you guys house there, and how much do they pay?
Per hour, I think the price would be around 3 to 4 times what is the standard rate in the rest of Asia. They're willing to spend the money, they're willing to invest, but they're very smart as well. They need to see the results, and that you have a proper system in place, and that you actually know what you're doing. And if they can see that, then they're willing to put in whatever money that money is not an issue for them, basically.
When you talk about results, you're talking about like performance on the golf course, or how they progress.
Everything. There's a lot of academies in China, and we differentiate ourselves in how we structure our lessons. We have very structured programs and reporting systems for all our students. If parents even do not attend the classes, they will still see via the reports how the student is progressing.
Thank you so much, Ben, for sharing all about Fyla Golf. And since we're all stuck at home, what are the 1 or 2 tips you think that we can do at home to keep ourselves enriched before we get out to the course again?
Enriched. Fitness is very good. I think it's a very good opportunity to work on your flexibility, build up your stamina. And if you have a putting mat, it's a very good time to work on your putting, because you don't have much time to work on your short game usually. If we go out, we always want to go to the driving range and bash drivers and hit as far as we can, and we skip the short game, especially putting.
So there you have it, Zen Dharmaratne, all the way from Tianjin. Work on your short game, guys. Do all the putting you can. Watch a lot of YouTube videos, so that will keep you entertained as well. I think this is a wrap for this episode, but we're gonna give you more content. So, but if you want to leave a comment in the comment section below on what you want to do next, we can work that out for you. So thanks, guys. Thank you, Zen.
Thank you, David. Thanks for having me.